Hi everyone, and welcome to the Workers' Comp Safety Training video. My name is Becky Felder and this is Rachel Durbin. We are going to be discussing the following topics today: employee injuries, workers' compensation, bloodborne pathogens, energy management, integrated pest management, and employee right to know. Let's begin with employee injuries. The most common type of injury suffered at our district is slips, trips, and falls. These can happen due to hazards in our workspace or negligence on our own part. Please be sure to monitor your workspace and be aware of any hazards such as spills or misplaced items. If possible, please clean up the hazard immediately to protect yourself and coworkers from any accidents. If you cannot take care of the hazard, please report it as soon as possible so that it will be taken care of. Ultimately, everyone's goal should be safety for themselves, coworkers, and students on campus. So slow down, be careful, and report any unsafe conditions at once. Back injuries are also very common. Be sure to use proper lifting procedures. Do not attempt to lift by bending forward. Bend your hips and knees to squat down to your load, keep it close to your body, and straighten your legs to lift. Never lift a heavy object above shoulder level. Avoid turning or twisting your body while lifting or holding a heavy object. If you think something is too heavy, use team lifting. Do not lift it by yourself. Should you be involved in an accident, there are forms that must be completed. Remember to complete these forms regardless of the degree of your injury. Your immediate supervisor will give you the proper forms to be completed. Additionally, if you are unsure of where to go to be treated, please call me at extension 1605. I can give you a list of recommendations. You have the right to choose the doctor of your choice, but they must accept workers' comp. And I have a list of local doctors that do accept it. It is important to note that forms are to be filled out for all injuries, even if you do not choose to go to the doctor. Time is of the essence as well. Be sure to notify your immediate supervisor as soon as you can. And I may call and ask you a couple of questions after an incident has occurred. Any time that you go to the doctor for a workers' comp related incident, the doctor will fill out a work status report. Please send it to me or drop it off as soon as possible so that I can stay up to date on your claim. Please just remember the most important points. Keep your work environment safe, report all injuries at once, and fill out forms completely. Moving on to bloodborne pathogens. As sure as the sun comes up every day, children will end up with scraped knees, cuts, and bruises from the playground. Unfortunately, students are not immune to bloodborne diseases. You are in as much danger of infection from the students you work with as from any other group in society. As a school district employee, you need to be aware of potential danger of bloodborne pathogens. Bloodborne pathogens are microorganisms present in human blood and certain body fluids that cause human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, or hepatitis B virus, or HBV, and many others. We're going to focus on HIV and HBV today because they are the most common. HIV and HBV are only transmitted through direct contact with blood or other body fluids of an infected person. HIV and HBV are not transmitted through saliva, sneezing, coughing, toilet seats, eating utensils, or a casual kiss. They are not found in urine, feces, or vomit unless it is contaminated with infected blood. There must be contact with broken skin such as cuts, nicks, skin abrasion, dermatitis, or acne, or the mucous membranes of your mouth, eyes, or nose by infected blood or body fluid to transmit HIV or HBV. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, also known as OSHA, has issued a standard that can protect you from bloodborne pathogens. OSHA has created a standard that provides you with the school system a method of working together to substantially reduce the risk of contracting a bloodborne disease on the job. In an educational setting, the school system is required to identify the personnel whose job duties expose them to blood and potentially infectious body fluids. Not every educator is occupationally exposed to bloodborne pathogens while performing his or her job. However, It is important for everyone in an educational setting to understand the dangers of infection and safe procedures to minimize risk. Let's talk about best prevention. Assume that all blood and body fluids are infected, even that cute little pre-K student. You never know. So gloves should be used anytime you are in contact with someone's blood or body fluid. Wash your hands after removing your gloves and or if you come in contact with someone's blood or body fluid. If you see that someone has contaminated an object, such as a desk, the floors, or the walls with blood or body fluids, please let the office or custodian know so that the object can be properly cleaned and disinfected. Good hygiene plays an important role in the prevention of all diseases. Everyone should wash their hands before eating, after using the restroom, and after any known contact with blood or body fluid. Also, if you know that you have an opening in your skin, such as a wound, please keep it covered with a Band-Aid for your protection as well as others. Your skin is a natural barrier for your body. Remember, contact or exposure does not mean that you have been infected, so don't panic. If you have been in contact with blood or body fluids, immediately wash the area well with soap and running water. If you have had an exposure, wash with soap and running water and notify your campus nurse or immediate supervisor as soon as possible. The nurse or supervisor will determine the appropriate post-exposure evaluation and follow-up. An exposure incident is defined as a specific eye, mouth, or other mucous membrane, non-intact skin contact with blood or other potentially infectious material that results from the performance of an employee's duties. Lastly, let's discuss energy management briefly. Energy costs, electrical, water usage, and natural gas usage constitute the second largest expense to the district. They are second only to the cost of salaries. Together, we can help reduce those costs by doing the following. Be sure to turn off the lights when you leave a classroom. Turn off the water completely when you're done using it. Use cold water whenever possible. Think about unplugging items that are not being used regularly, such as TVs, radios, and hole punches. Use central refrigerators and microwaves instead of personal ones. Keep interior doors closed during months to conserve heat and air conditioning. Close blinds on extremely warm days. Do not block air conditioning vents. And report any water leaks to maintenance immediately. By doing these little things, we can make a big difference in the energy consumption of the district. Your help is greatly appreciated. This brings my presentation to an end. Please contact me, Becky Felder, should you have any questions that were not fully answered during our time today. You can reach me via email at rfelder@magnoliaisd.org or at extension 1605. We're now going to move on to Rachel Durbin to allow her to talk about integrated pest management and employee right to know.
Hi, my name is Rachel Durbin and I am the Regulatory Compliance Coordinator for Magnolia ISD. Today I'm going to be going over IPM and employee right to know. First, I would like to talk to you about IPM and integrated pest management. This is a program required by the state to help keep the schools under control when it comes to pest and harmful chemicals. IPM is a pest management strategy that relies on accurate identification, knowing exactly what pests we are dealing with. Reliable monitoring methods, such as baits and traps, can be used when pests are found and to eliminate the problem. We do aim to use the least harmful, effective method for controlling these pests by using traps instead of the chemicals when possible. Preventative measures, which is the most effective tool, including checking the thresholds and entryways of the campuses and keeping the work areas clean. And this is where we need your help. To do your part in keeping these pests out of the schools, there are a few housekeeping tips that we will go over. First off, there are 4 ingredients that keep roaches alive: air, water, food, and a habitat to live in. By keeping food out of your classrooms or in a sealed container, you will greatly eliminate any roach problems. This also includes food for any class pets you might have in your room as well. Paper, clutter, and cardboard boxes are roaches' favorite places to live. Mice also chew on them and use them as a nesting material. By making sure your workplace is clean and organized, the pests will not have any places to hide and stay. When you do have an issue on your campus, please use work orders to address those concerns. The problem cannot be fixed if we do not know about it. As soon as the work order is sent in and we receive it, the pest control company is notified and a visit scheduled as soon as possible. Our campuses and facilities are exterminated once a month and are followed up with a 2-week inspection. The exterminators do a good job in finding the problem areas and maintaining the pest problem. Do not bring any pest control chemicals from home. The chemicals used inside and outside our campuses are required to be recorded and approved for each use. With these regulations, we can ensure the safety of everyone in the schools. This leads us to Employee Right to Know. The purpose of the Employee Right to Know, or Hazardous Communication Standard, HAZCOM, is to ensure that employers and employees can identify and understand hazardous chemicals in their workplace. HAZCOM, which is a standard from OSHA, mandates that any chemicals you have on your work site must maintain a safety data sheet for them. These data sheets are located at each campus and provide specific information for health and physical hazards, as well as instructions for mixture. The chemicals that are used on campus, including cleaning solutions and other liquid products, must be labeled with the name of the product and all safety warnings. Without the label on the product, we cannot identify it or have the safety steps to take if an accident occurs while using it. With these plans in place and with your help, we can keep our campuses clean and safe. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact me at rdurbin@magnoliaisd.org or at extension 1305. Thank you for listening to us today, and we wish you the best.